a tribute to spoken word mates. See, I can't wait to get back on stage, be serenaded by Serenade. And Sammy Rise rampages like a tiger out of a cage. I wish to hear the magic of Amalia the Alchemist or Tish, or see the majesty of poetry by Anna Sinsky. But me? I'm soft-spoken and my name's a disclaimer. So I don't blame you if you can't claim to hear my voice or cause discourse in this call like poetical or hair. I'm aim to be an OG in spoken word like Kareem Latoya. And I'm a poet that's curious. And my entire eternal fire burns for all of us. It's beautiful, I'm just a man expressing love, but I bear a grudge. See, my words allow me to express when I'm vexed, and I won't stop to my anthology, a script and an index, so I annotate my words and study them till it hurts, because it's not just stories my theory of the seas will know my life's work. That's why I etch my soul onto a glass screen. My digital Rosetta Stone allows me to breathe. My head yays in the sky gods as I bring these characters to life and manipulate letters to externalize my heavy strike. But why a glass screen? I guess my pen's broken. Give a medal to my valor. All hell to the wizard Solomon. Because he brings love to this island more than Caroline Flack, mindful magic. You know about your life. They attack your mind, the two, your third eye with metaphors that blind. Aaron Daniel in his prime, I'm nearly for supernova, that's what I write. Right, I speak justice to white collar crime, inquire in politics at Prime Minister's question time. Because I'm a poetical heretic and I remain defiant. I bring fury to this stage, I'm not Fuego compliant, conscious of my deal like a barb, I'm a rhyme suppliant, inspired I stand and asking shoulders to become a giant. But I am a spit mind poet. I am Samuel King. I can fell on the mic so my hope spring to action. With Pexy, your lyrics rampage like Jackson. It's not a stretch to say I simian go far in this game, and on Benny's diction I'll unleash this Doberman off his chain, and it's a shame to unleash a big scoop of this pain. It's the same, the power space tooth can pack in his frame. I am Shaheed. I alphabetically slaughtered until it bleeds. Repeat beat, I am Shaheed. I alphabetically slaughtered till it conceives entire of my. If I get defined in the poet's dictionary, yo, that would be a feat. It seems we're living in the flowest stream. The poet's highest up bring the other self-esteem. And I may be cliche, but look at the diversity of our scene. We've got Miss Yankee, Woodsy, Fisky, and a poet named Nassim. Oh shit, I almost forgot Nancy Carrier, Billy, and the preachers of me. Gazelle with those bars turning the air blue. What's why I got this fat guy digesting words too, and low-key, I feel like I'm T-Starning. This physical ain't my game, but I've got wordplay like karate, like Awate or Egypt. I go to the themetaphorest when I need similes to say. And when I need to stay in calmer, I reach the Chelsea Maid. Conversational education, look for RVJ, future legends, Fowers, Jade, Rohan, and Jade. This was written a while back, isn't it?
Some of you poets are old. No, joking. You guys are old.
So think twice before you spend your imaginary millions, unless you got bars like Sarah, then call a hun. And Shay D on the mic, and I mean the Persian one, not the peroxide guy from Michigan. Attention. Son, I hope your head's been spun, because I'm someone whose times you can no longer shun. And unashamed to say, I've co-opted all of your poetical personas. I have found my voice with huge thanks to Chris and Carla. With a clay or real role, never will I remain unspoken like Fatima or Jemima. A reminder, the levels of Jamal Hassan is what I strive for. Okay, my time limit I've reached, so I'm gonna round this up. My physique, I used to be weak, leech of others, till I became a poet that's unique. Rise, Felicia, speak, wreak havoc on my liege. This is a spoken word speech, but I'm humble in my speech.
So yeah, I've had a few today, you know. I'm moving so freely. I'm used to chains on my back, my neck. If I correctly recollect, what was I gonna say? On delay, we move on. Sometimes when I'm drawing my brain on delay, I swear I'll be sober from today, from tonight. I'll pour and swallow. Happy today, sore tomorrow. Sore and sorry, pops or molly. Hedonism taking control of all my property. I don't know how to love or speak properly. I need honesty. Do you think I'm drunk? Do you think that if I got every tear I ever cried, that it would fit my cup? I'd probably drink that too. Tears I cried, I swallow my pride, I wallow in sorrow. I'm sorry, I tried. Do you think that in this state I should be allowed to speak? Well, it don't matter, cause both my parents proud of me. The little boy, their son, the same boy that used to sing his heart out, now destroying his lungs. Boiled and drunk, royally fucked. I'm vulnerable on display. I'm scared I'ma die in no honest way. Yous have no clue what I lost today. And the day before that. You don't know what it's like to cough wax, sipping cognac, the burning in my lungs, the candle, the flame. I can handle the flame, the weight on my back. I swear I'm not an alcoholic. I just need a drink at all times to be on demand. I swear I'm an honest man. I just ain't go mosque today. I've lost my way. I'm scared I'ma die in a lot of ways. What was I gonna say? Thank you.
Time out, taking time out to climb out of holes taller than me with no shoring. It's boring, sitting waiting for a breaking in the shaking. Not enough giving but taking's commonplace. I've lost all trace of how much time out it takes to put on the brakes in the digging. Workplace injuries, foundations collapsing, hope from the rigging. Failure dance, battle jigging. Trying to stop the screaming by singing. Trying to stop the losing by winning. Constant drilling and attempts at killing. Self-destruction on stage in fits of the dramatic, acrobatic ability to jump back on the horse, of course, or so it seems. Pipe dreams at fire screens guarding me from the heat. Turn it down, cut it out. Time out, taking time out. I've got to shout. Count me in, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what we're rhyming for. Divine release and eternal peace. Make the chaos cease and let the pace increase. Trapped inside behind bars. Anger control through sparring. Blast beats, fast beats, and we're still climbing. Still we're climbing. Time out, taking time out. I'm not about, I'm clocking in and out. Losing half of today to gain tomorrow. Yesterday was borrowed. It was all worth it, and I'll tell you why. Tomorrow will fly. We'll fly high, but how high is too high? If we fly as high as the sky, the sun will burn through and melt everything we've done. Destroy all that we've won. Falling like Icarus, the boulder rolling back down the hill like Sisyphus. The absurd meaning of work don't ring true the myth of Camus. Each day the boulder may as well stay at the bottom of the hill. Overworking too much flight can make us ill, so just get back on stage and kill. Tomorrow will fly. Tomorrow ain't worth dying about. Flying is worth rhyming about. Tomorrow will shout. Fuck that, wasting is a crime, waiting for the sublime. If time is money, it ain't worth a dime. Today is our time. This one's for all the angry people. Cold case, then watered heartbreak, oh no, soaring heights make you reach new lows, bro. Man jumping around like a March hare, pogo, driven away in a meat wagon solo. Bloodstains all down a 50 quid polo. Too much pride, walking away was a no-go. Caught in the moment, regretful morning, craving atonement. Thinking you are as hard as Bruce Lee, Arnie and Diaz. Red face making eclipse pupils, purple vein eyes. Like Nate, no one was surprised. When even if you won, you admit the feast, tore out, apprehended in the street. No one cares that you proved it tough. When your wrist is locked into a handcuff. The lonely nights all start to drag when your ankle is bound by a tag. But what a sad, terrible sight though. All to conquer a 5-minute thumb. Your anger had to go somewhere, so next time save it for the dojo. Thank you.
I was recently editing this poem of this dialogue back and forth between a man and a woman. And it's so funny that I felt like I had to bring it back. A lot of it is so very relatable to now, but especially with the response of said woman. So here goes. It's called Call Me Queen one more time. Young lady, you are an enigma. The way you juggle through this obstacle called life, a part of me can't comprehend the sorcery it takes to be stronger. Against every strife you encounter, you rise like the sun in summer. I am struck. It hurts my ego less to categorize your talents than to ask for a portion of your balance. You intimidate the boy my parents refused to raising. You dominate without dictating. I couldn't even imagine something even remotely as satiating in comparison. This right here is torture. My emotions run like infantile cobras against your snake charmer. How do I accept your embrace as being warmer than my solitude? It's easier to place you on a pedestal than to change my attitude. From sending you my irrationalities instead of my deepest gratitude, because you ground me. One glance and I'm humbled and entranced. To think someone this earthly, yet this unattainable would make me tremble. I would rather believe you to be lowly than build myself up enough to reach your summit. It's peak, because I'm juggling the trapped helium in my ego with my fear of heights. I can't even tell you I love you without feeling like I've lost. I'd rather dwindle in shallow make-believe to hack at all your good qualities I want to celebrate in myself than be awashed by your wisdom. I'd rather use history to blight your bloom than to harness your gloom for my own success. I guess I thought I silenced you enough, till the screams rung from inside my guts. For all your broken voices I'm paying. It's painstaking, watching you pour like plaster into molds that don't have your outline, and to think you did it all on your own. Young boy, it takes you no longer than 4 seconds to decide yourself worthy of carrying my throne. Call me queen one more time and pray you live long enough to find me in your blueprint.
I say that again. That was absolutely amazing.
Call me queen one more time and pray you live long enough to find me in your blueprint. How wicked you make me. How wretched. I, the one who pushed you out. You, the dumb babe, bruised from my umbilical embrace. What was it worth? In raising you with my own resilience, did I falter? Do your eyes see me anything less than alpha? Beta, adjust your glasses and look inward, son. I poured infinite waters to born you, stunned. Older than the face of the earth, I tore and stretched to stitch you a throne, and that's the closest you'll get to being a king. Is it irony, the way you forget my name? Isn't it selfish how you exchange pats on the back with your brethren for immortalizing me in a poem? Am I not alive? Alive enough to speak on my own? Am I not a god? Is this not the only story? Because we can trace the entirety of human history back to the womb of a woman in Ethiopia. The mother of all civilizations to ever boil and simmer, to all men thereafter that lived to forsake her, she doused in the very material of life they neutered and sterilized out of her. No, not some Eve, not from any holy book, but you can still read her sophisticated scripture if you ever felt your own heartbeat. All variations lived in her. All milk and bread and fish, you believe that man to have separated between his children, she housed in a chest, unrelenting. If you yield now, it won't feel like collapsing. The way history clings, the way the pendulum swings, you too will cry holding your windpipe when the frequency of her scream breaks. Thank you.
Heroines first, and heroes. Maya Angelou shone like a rose of holiness, turning the thorns of adversity into a kaleidoscope of celestial beauty. She rose from the cauldron of death like a phoenix, undaunted, to go beyond the remorse of a life of shadows and pain. A life of traumatic muteness and emotional guilt, a caged bird emerging uncaged from an abyss of darkness, only to keep on singing, glowing like an effulgent moon. An inspirational beacon, Maya blazed the trail for liberty and justice of African Americans for the diaspora across the globe. She had an innocent laughter and a sense of sassiness and charisma. She inspired through speeches, motivational quotes, and books, transcended the confines of bigotry and injustice, of all that separates us from truth, saying, "Love liberates." I saw her on stage once, offering her last ounce of splendor. She spoke medicine to a crowd who came for the healing of souls, still finding time for me, even when she was all but exhausted. Such was her wings of love, of goodness, the nobility and elegance that God had carved indelibly on a snow-white spirit. She listened even as I saw the pain in her eyes, merging with the endless joy, the self-giving and a loving heart, kissing the very gates of paradise. What is a hero? Some deserve actual flowers, not stems, and Serena Williams should have been garlanded with 100 more accolades than she received for being a phenomenal, remarkable tennis player at the pinnacle of her illustrious career. She showed finesse, charisma, agility, and power, dancing across rings and emotional hurdles with grace and dignity. Even as a selected few forgot the 23 Grand Slams she offered humanity, continuing to send her buds rather than bouquets of roses. She was the only player, male or female, to accomplish a career Golden Slam in both singles and doubles competition. Simone Biles was called a coward for sacrificing gold to speak out against the trauma of mental health. Yet she endured for many years, became arguably the greatest gymnast ever, with billions of viewers dying to see her perform. Michelle Obama dared to peer over the mountaintop, leaving flares and beacons for women to follow, for in becoming the First Lady of President Barack Obama's America, she sent solace via nightingales, sparrows and canaries to comfort their souls. Queen Nanny of the Maroons was immortalized in songs and legends for exceptional leadership and outstanding military skills. She became a symbol of unity and strength for all those fighting for freedom against enslavement, organizing guerrilla warfare to keep out the foreign troops trying to capture them. She was astute in planning and confused them with numerous traps. She was a Ghanaian African who encouraged the continuation of customs, music and songs that came with our ancestors from their homeland. On March 31st, 1982, the Right Excellent Nanny of the Maroons was conferred the Order of National Hero by the government of Jamaica. Back to Maya, and her life was literally her work, from Grammys to Pulitzer Prize nominee for poetry, acting, directing, film and public speaking, university honors, and highly respected spokesperson for black women. She served in 2 presidential committees and was given the Presidential Medal of Freedom by Barack Obama in 2011. Quoted by presidents, universities, and scholars all around the world, her name is carved in coins and proclamations as a multi-talented individual who rose from the precipice of darkness only to burn in the fiery sweetness of humility and love, tracing its flames with a sacrifice and charisma on the very pulse of being. Mountain Carrier, thank you.
I'm very tall because I'm from the Netherlands, which is the tallest breed of people in the world. Hey everyone, I'm a depressed poet coming from Amsterdam. I'm doing a little tour in London. And my laptop broke today, so I thought to start with a poem that's called Think Positively. Think positively. If I get splashed by some asshole driving through a mud pool, I try positive thinking and turn the other cheek to give it a good wash to. Because it will save me on my gas bill, and it will save me on shampoo, and I also heard that mud's pretty good for your skin too. And if I'm riding the first morning metro, get scoffed at for wearing pink skinny jeans, I remind myself that those boring cis hetero, just hot for, simply jealous of these. Because it's not them. It's not them. I know, it's my perspective that's gotta change. So I try and erase the rejection I face. Really, I know just what to say to make the pain go away. And meanwhile, my therapist is teaching me tricks to keep the brain stains I bathe that are draining away at my self-worth all day. Because I've learned to cope, distract myself into a thought experiment, to not feel the needles down my throat and circumvent a childhood memory floating up top, taking me in a chokehold, shouting match at the top of the stairs of my lungs for too long at my mom aged 44 when I was fucking 5 years old. So every morning I wake up and grit my teeth and say, well, hello pretty, fancy meeting you here. To the baggy, sweaty, underfed motherfucker I can see in the mirror for some good feels. Every time I'm just left wondering when all the mantras and brain hacks I can do to myself will become real. This next poem is for all the people taking care of me in my toughest times. It's called Cup of Tea, anyone? Who massages the massager? Who listens to the one who listens and has to hide behind a smile? When do open arms and cups of tea become too much to bear for one who's carrying the brunt of burnt-out lovers? No stopper in the sink to stop the tears from clogging up the basin. They are the ones that tirelessly present the rest with snacks, while we do chat and say we're tired. They are the ones that need the hugs the most, stronger back to put their arms around, so they too can sigh and cry their eyes out. And I know it's not meant to be like this, that it's a beast that we maintain and feed. I know I am reliant and in need. I know they give, I take, and nothing else. A strong person to hide behind, while they have to hide behind themselves. I just wish that on the days that I am able, they find comfort in my hugs as much as I do in their cups of tea and biscuits on the table. I wrote a poem, and then a friend of mine actually said, that's nice, but isn't it more like a kind of reciprocal relationship, more like a conga line of care? I said, okay. Write a poem about it. This one's called the conga line. Now, if you don't mind, can I put my hands around your waist? And then I will hug you from behind and gently push you forward when the music starts to play. You find the nearest body to do the same as I have done. See, there's no need for leaders if we all keep adding on. So just find a single someone, support their back and have them lead the way. You'll find that soon we'll swallow quite the crowd when the music starts to play. Everyone, come on, jump in, because our party's light shines brightest when we have our own past selves to guide us. And if you're lost within the circle and you're getting overwhelmed, remember to just close your eyes and let the one you're pushing take the helm. While I'm holding you, hold someone else that holds another body warm. God, this entire conga line of people is holding each other in each other's arms. Friends, believe me when I say that even today, we can be our neighbor's shadow of the past, of future traumas, current pain. That's okay. Because I've got your back, and you've got mine. So go, get a drink, jump right in, and join my conga line. Thank you.
This is called Your Life With Me Will Be Hell. 100 million crumbs of toast from breakfasting in bed each and every single day, as I have promised said, will scratch and itch and worry you and plague your pretty head. And as you brush the crumbs away, I'll bring you juice as well. Your life with me will be hell. Although they may be pretty, I feel that I should warn, a rose is just another place to find a pricking thorn. And one can hurt, so 12 of them could do no end of harm. So should I just send roses or chocolates as well? Your life with me will be hell. And then there is the lovemaking. If what I'm told is true, it's pretty good when one's involved, but loads more fun with two.
Yes, it is.
And Tuesday is a school night, so I'll finish when you do. And afterwards I like to hold and sometimes talk as well. Your life with me will be hell. Your life with me will be hell. And then, as time goes on, you understand your fate is to accept we're us for life, not just another date. You could be free and on your own. I'd have to master living on my own again. But we've got a flat and more than that, a wee small dog as well. Your life with me will be hell. And decades pass, the kids have gone, it's only thee and me. Our body's gone to ruin, eyesight too, quite luckily. And what you most look forward to is when I make the tea. Risotto, souffle, bourguignon, and dirty sex as well. Your life with me will be hell.
I like your hell, man.
It's a good hell. It's the better kind of hell.
It's a nice place, bro.
This is called Ode to a Johnson. Didst thou compare some to a bumboy gay, or letterbox, or grinning piccanin? With bigots' words thou took'st the reins of May, and hapless bastards then did vote you in. Sometime ambition's heat doth warm the path that takes its traveller far beyond his skill. So every dumb idea which for a laugh, or darker spite, Dom in your head doth spill, becomes a further burden to the land. But you, do you now try to fix the mess? Why no, instead you lie about your hand in it, and blame it on the rest. But no, so long as we can see by eye, so long we see your every single lie.
So just a quick introduction, just to explain the reason racism and all forms of persecution remain pervasive is not because of, the tea towel over the head wearers and the far right. It is because the majority of us, it's apathy and ignorance. It's that, it's the people that watch an advert and see a brown baby, but instead go to work and talk about the flies instead. It's about the people who only realise who Chris Cabba was when a policeman got arrested or charged with his murder. It's the black people that don't fight for the Jews that don't fight for the Muslims that don't fight for the gays that don't fight for the women that don't fight for the disabled. It's a perpetuation. So this is the reason why it's continued becomes pervasive in our society. So this, as I say to my son, let's do this. This is a story of identity. Every time I hope I never have to bring this poem out, but I know I'm gonna have to be bringing this poem out for the rest of my life. I speak for the billions wounded, for a tribe of people whose presence are presumed dark, like the shades that grace our faces, for occupants of slave ships, those that dared to test their master's patience, for cultures tarnished, lands pillaged, blood wasted, those that waited for corpse on rope to cease from swing and lullaby in cadence, for the bought, the sold, the branded, the many buried nameless, for their sons and daughters that shall only know hard living, prison, poverty, and social cages, for those with dampened voices, choked necks, footnotes on the day's pages, all those you deem merely black, but otherwise remain faceless. I hail from a long line of cast iron troublemakers. My ancestors died, lived too many lives as the enemy. Now I would find myself bound, chained to their unchosen legacies, simply because my hair grew out coarse and unstraightened like that of the enemy. My broad nose belonged to the enemy. I wore thick lips that exactly resembled those worn by the enemy. More melanin meant my pigments darkened steadily, befitting the enemy. And of course, when I was supposed to pause, I grew tall a little too rapidly, just like the enemy. For so much of time, the countenance and features born to the enemy bore a remarkable semblance to those of my bloodlines, my kins, their skins, painted the same as mine. But then I would see others cut, and I would see them cry, witness the tears they leaked. I have seen the blood that pours from the wound of every kind, and each and every time, all shed the same crimson red running through their vascular lines, all shed the same salty water from their eyes, and still you are encouraged to ask whose color you should hate, whose culture you are to fear, whose color says beware. So you reflect, look far and near, searching everywhere. But please, when you pass your mirrors, stop, stand and stare, because right there stands the very next possible enemy. For we are all the changing faces of this same enemy. What's in an identity evolving? That which we call a person by any other name is still a person, breathing, bleeding, same entity. We are all the same versions. This is the story of identity. See, I come from a long line of cast iron troublemakers. My people died and lived too many lives as the enemy. I am now bound and chained to the same unchosen legacies, simply because my hair grew out coarse and unstraightened like that of the enemy. I am but one of the billions wounded. I am from a tribe of people whose presence are presumed black due to the shades we wear on our faces. Yes, all lives do matter, but some lives have always mattered more. Some lives still matter more, and some lives will always matter more. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice, the darker the flesh, the quicker they shoot. Thank you.
But I want to read a couple of poems that are about, I want to give you some idea of the character of my wife who died 7 years ago. Next month she had cancer. And so there's a couple of poems. People who've heard me before know that this is something that I write poetry about. So, but anyway, this is something she loved. She loved jewellery. This is one of the things she loved. And this is based on this is based on something that really happened. There was one day I was standing on this back step of the house, and the cat came, and in her mouth there was a dragonfly, and she came and dropped the dragonfly at my feet, and I really thought it was a message from her wife. So that's what the poem's about. Dragonfly. She loved the sparkling kinds of things, to say ruby, sapphire, lapis lazuli out loud. She loved a statement piece in pearl, garnet, glass, or moonstone cloud. She loved bowls to overflow her shelves, filled to the brim and bright. She loved her rings to be like boulders, loved to hold them to the light. She'd have loved this brilliant autumn day, wet leaves like brooches on our street. She'd have loved our cat as it approaches to lay this treasure at my feet. She'd have loved the flashing platinum wings, the copper black and emerald stem, loved it in her jewelry stash more than any diadem. And the next one. She also loved gardens, and she loved clothes, fashion, and so on. And she loved a dirty joke. You know, so this is called Lady Garden. It felt like it had been downloaded to me when I was in a garden, in a formal place. It was like a vision. Anyway, Lady Garden. In the formal garden with its low parterre, I think of you joking about a trimmed bush, flashing a shaved leg, then saying the path between is a landing strip. You'd a dirty mind, thank God. I see you smiling, almost in the flesh, showing off the green Marc Jacobs skirt bought in a long dead boutique, loving its sexy swish. Shapes are a turn-on, the fretwork of sculpted box, The tall lily stalks bending to the weight of full pink heads, the frill of lavender around the edge. Sights and sounds excite, a dove's soft sherd, a stream's liquid lap from a hidden cleft, and white butterflies borne up on puffs of air inside a high hedge.
Wow. Sorry, was that shape, works, and eternal?
Huh?
Shape, works, or eternal?
Wait a minute. Hang on. I can't find that bit. I've just been reading it. Do you want to have a look?
I would love to. Honest, thank you.
Okay. Yes, cancer, chemotherapy. I don't know whether anyone here has had the. This is the last one.
Shapes are eternal.
Yeah, turn on. Yeah, not eternal. Yeah. Yeah, chemotherapy. Yeah, so if you've ever been in a chemotherapy place, it's not a great thing to. I wouldn't recommend it, but this is about that. It's called Departures. Notes on chemotherapy. Nice helmet is what you say with a grin. Don't know whether you know when you have chemotherapy, you can opt to have wear a helmet to help stop your hair falling. And you sit in a thing that's a bit like an airplane seat, which is where this sort of idea sprang to me from. Okay, nice helmet is what you say with a grin. The first time you sit in your aeroplane seat in the chemical lounge and take the briefer prospect of your future in. That cold cat thingy's for the flight, I reply. Where you're heading, the hair is thinner. Who needs hair, you say? And if we didn't laugh, we'd cry. You look at rows of others in their places. I do too. And now the joke runs dry. There are mirrors, waiting in pairs, one to stay, one to go, fear in their faces. So we regroup and have another stab. The smiling nurse in blue and white becomes in banter a witch in black, brewing poisons in her cave, the lab. Next, trolley dollies flush with food, sweep into the attack with gifts and sweets, as if your state will yield to chocolate, and this is not the end, but just an interlude. Then all too soon the witch is back, her potions mixed, her tubes and bags filled with dread as much as hope. Your brightness sputters and then cracks. Thus we conspire, or so I think, to wrench this scheme of our goodbye into a shape that doesn't hurt. But while I watch, needle after needle goes in, and you clench.
I'm just gonna go into it. This is called Mirror. Can you guys hear me? I looked in the mirror and all I saw were imperfections, the need for corrections from head to toe. Unhealthy, I know. She looks just like me, but she moves when I'm not moving, and does things I'm not doing, and says things I'm not thinking, and I realise that I am the one in the mirror. I'm in a bone-chilling thriller as I watch the person on the other side taking my life for a joyride. I'm in the passenger seat of my own car. She is driving a nightmare I've been living, an out-of-body experience with her inside my head. She accelerates, and I want to excel at rates in every aspect of my life, but I'm not feeling quite right, so I pick apart the pieces of me I don't like. I saw her with her ex. Sorry. I saw him with her ex. I saw him with his ex, and thought how she could never compare to her. I thought him and she could never have what they were. I saw her doing the job she gets paid to do. She could be paid more, work harder, maybe in something new. And I saw her with her friends, though there is a lack thereof. They were better than she, or so she thought, but beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and that's some food for thought. The imposter broke in, mistook my home as hers. With my roof over her head, she took the clothes off my back and stole my last meal. The imposter? My own personal frenemy, if you will. We overanalyze what we did 10 years ago, and my brain cannot rest. The voices in my head get louder and contribute to stress. They say, you're not pretty enough. You're not skinny enough. You are not enough, and that's the stuff our nightmares are made on. Her body dysmorphia is a breeding ground for more fear of not being accepted, but she can't even accept herself. Somehow she crawls away from the imposter to find herself, to find the wealth of having good mental health, to build a new her. How? Well, the girl in the mirror. Yeah, me. It turns out I fight back. I fought the imposter with kindness and I gave her what she lacked. I loved me back to health and I led me to myself, letting the imposter be on her way because she could not stay. Her rent was well overdue and I am brand new. I'm changing the locks and I'm closing the windows and doors because I will not let an imposter pick out all my flaws.
You are not like others. You are not like others. Fiercely, exuberantly not like others. You smile when things go wrong and say it's okay. You wear your jumper outside on the warmest of days. You wholeheartedly give yourself to the smallest things. Keep the flowers on the seat so you can remember spring. Those spring days, walking in the park, and those summer nights talking till it's dark. Those winter days with the black bamboo. So when I say you are not like others, I mean all I ever wanted was for you to be you. This one is called I Feel Uncomfortable in My Skin. I feel uncomfortable in my skin, like something crawling from within. Every day seems dim whilst I cannot evade my sin, no longer afraid to let you in. But I feel uncomfortable and exposed, forever writing prose. Beneath my skin, all that's enclosed. I suppose I feel opposed to my very being. I can't explain the feeling. I feel uncomfortable in my skin. This one I've done before, but I like it, so I can do it again.
Yes!
Do you?
They say a red sky at night is a shepherd's delight. But you should never let the sun go down on your anger. No wonder she never sleeps. She's kept in a silent retreat. Not literally, but never speaks what's really on her mind. And then one more. This one is called Am I Insane? Am I insane? Am I insane? Am I insane? Tell me, am I insane? Am I too vain, unrestrained? I'm forever feeling drained. All these thoughts drumming in my head, go to bed, forget about what they said. It's like your poetry's too dark. They're all too sad. Why don't you write happy? Don't you know I'm mad? Am I insane? Am I really insane or just afraid? They said your writing is too harsh, but so is the truth. They said you're making me think too deeply. Isn't that the whole point? They said, whatever they said, it's stuck in my head on repeat, frustrated, neglected, I'm feeling emotions too deep in my mind, too deep to feel alive. Isn't poetry supposed to be therapy? And therapy supposed to help? My therapy is poetry, my insanity is not, so tell me, am I insane?
This is called asphyxiating. I know it's hard. Trust me, I know it's hard, but you're gonna have to cover up your wounds because no one wants to know your scars, and the world is asphyxiating me from my broken heart. But I have it under control. See, the wonders of the universe are hidden under my soul, so make me the king of this world, or I'ma come for the throne. Jeez. I'ma wrap my arm around my sister and my younger brother. Put them under covers because I've been working from a distance to keep it undercover. So just take my hand and I'll do my best to create a plan to watch it all dissipate into a grain of sand. Because this was my fantasy. An imaginary world hidden behind a false sense of reality. It's a fallacy, a game of chess where only I have the ability to challenge me. See, a picture paints 1,000 words that is seen but is never heard, living in reverse because what of our life starts with death and ends in birth. It's absurd how gossip and rumors is more important than the sacred scriptures, so wait the listener. Because somehow we're convinced that we ain't a prisoner. And we've been defined by a generation of lost souls who can't figure out which way to turn once they reach the crossroads. Plagiarized by what's sold, it's a fake disguise. This is not gold, then they take your life just to bury you in a pothole. See, the corporate tower was built off the backs of the poor to give the rich higher power. They allowed me to take in the scent, but somehow I never got my flowers. Purified my soul, because not even holy water can cleanse me. When the devil's on both shoulders as my belief turns to envy. And open wide, who closed mouths never get fed. And keep everyone on their toes so they don't know what to expect. See, I did whatever I could to get ahead and don't regret what was never said, so when the dust settles and clears, I won't be left for dead. Isn't it a shame that the realest stories are never critically acclaimed? Because every reaction or decision has a chain, and every vision has a frame. So we distort the truth until it's driven us insane, burning our desires until it's killing us in flames. Every obstacle is just the sum of its parts, and every wish is hidden under the stars. So how do you expect to go the distance when you run from your path? The truth is, peace only exists if we are united. I know our back's against the wall, but together we can fight it.
Woo! The one, the only.
Let's start off with some call and response, okay? When I say a body like mine, all I need you to say back is a body like mine. So let's try that one more time. A body like mine. 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 A body like mine is too unrealistic to represent in films, TV, or any medium where medium-build chubby torso is on a proud pedestal of ashy brown knock knees. Sometimes I'm quite pleased that I've not yet been perceived by media lenses that act as plastic wrap for my appearance, quickly distributing it through Netflix supply chains ready to be consumed on high-def platters. A body like mine. A body like mine. A body like mine. A body like mine. A body like mine is too unachievable to be obtained by ordinary Olympians or your garden variety Hollywood hard bodies. It would take years of eating bountiful amounts of basmati adorned with the finest curries cooked by my mother's golden touch just to meet the nutrient requirements alone. When asked, Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger shed manly tears over how they were so near achieving a body like mine and yet didn't have the facilities for it. A body like mine. A body like mine. A body like mine. A body like mine. A body like mine is too unattractive to attract the masses. Therefore, it's quite right that I am defined as a cult classic, acquired taste, and growing on me until I'm a dad bod giant in your subconscious desires. The hair on my body is the draft excluder that keeps out fair weather lovers. The lack of muscles on my arms mean I'm unable to carry any freeloaders. And my poor eyesight means you might just need to be as special as me to catch my gaze. A body like mine. A body like mine. A body like mine. A body like mine. A body like mine is too unwieldy to swim the currents of male fashion trends. Instead, a bespoke fashion code must be etched into the Rosetta Stone of my weekly wardrobe so that those clothes exactly fit my strange slabs that I call thighs while maintaining the right length for my Bengali boy height. Like an emperor showing gladiators the thumbs down for execution, I filter ASOS for anything that won't showcase my awkward frame. My body is a guide much like the blueprint for a majestic skyscraper. Not just any glass panes will do, because I need to be encased in materials that match my metal. Thank you. Yes, yes. Every time you do that, I'm just like, is he talking about me? Is he talking about me? Thank you, thank you. So yeah, I mean, I write a lot of poetry about recently I've been writing a lot of poetry about friends and family, and I think it's important to hold your friends close. Oftentimes when we don't know who we are, we look to our close friends to remind us of who we are. So this is in dedication of my friends. My chosen path was eggs that I fried instead of letting grow. Tossed in a pan, sizzling in the hot oil of my parents' words. Friends and cousins and neighbors and lovers doing up progress. But I keep my dreams parked in the bay of my bed. I walk down the Isle of Dogs on cool Tower Hamlets nights, main road smelling of exhaust pipes and exhausted families. But a stroll in the cold feels like fresh sheets for my being. I add weights to the barbells of my thoughts. Luckily, I've got a few trusted ones who spot me. Want you to know that your banter does more for me than 1,000,000 years of therapy. My mind takes the words, let's chill, and associates it with freezing time on Victoria Park's many benches. Cigarette smoke, swapped for vape smoke, swapped for cardio, and then back to fags. I hate the smoke, but I like you lot. I like you lot a lot. Smoke out the demons, lighting up convos. Our clothes are stained with smells we'll vaguely recall tomorrow. Pissing into the canal shouldn't feel as fun as it does. That's what you call dodgy streams, and I ain't talking about the footy. It's great being in the East End's armpits with no place to go. Seeing used aloe vera juice with a 20 bag. I don't know how many times I've been saved from my rash decisions by being laughed out of them. Lord knows how many times I've decided to give up fried chicken. But the ketchup is always redder in a neon-lit PFC. When it's time to go, I take the long way home, so I can enjoy the post-link-up thoughts for dessert and wonder whether I am the doubts that weigh me down or whether I am the person who my mates praise me to be. We're gonna be okay is a phrase punctuated with the word bruv, like bruv, put that egg on some toast and toast to another evening well wasted. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. I think spaces like this are so special to me, and I think, thank you for spending your Monday evening with me. I know the Metropolitan line was a nightmare today. Non-existent, exactly. And yeah, there's another strike on Wednesday. I'm not giving out travel updates here. All right, who's had a shitty job? Give me a woo. Yeah. It fucking sucks, right? And oftentimes I found working those long shifts made me quite creative because I'm just like, I need to invent ways to keep myself entertained or I'm gonna go crazy here, right? So this one is called Closing. Your long white body is the canoe I use to row down a red tape river. And every evening, I see the sunset on my ambitions as I delouse another sour email rejection from my inbox. I am trapped in the scroll wheel of this mouse. My cover letter reads like a suicide note for all the potential I held as a kid. And yes, I am eligible to work in the UK. Another job offer falls through like damp floorboards giving way to reality. So I am stuck serving rice bowls to office workers, my fingers bound by lashes of thick brown teriyaki. I do my shifts without opening my eyes. My manager sings me lullabies. And a customer wants to make small talk while I fold up his receipt and fly away in a paper plane. Why, oh why, do things never go right? Is a song that I can't get out of my head. While I dance slowly with the mop behind the counter, and my phone haptically whispers another no, no, no to me from the pockets of my dirty jeans. I am on the line for some answers. The hold music laughs at me in falsetto, and if I get put through to another robot, I will self-destruct. When I've closed up for the day, there are always the stolen coconut brownies there for me. My pillows at night, brown sugar sheets, sweet dreams until the morning, ready for another row down the river, another spin of the wheel. Thank you. I'm sure, so this is something, have you guys ever had like somebody that your parents compared you to when you were growing up, like a cousin or something like that? And you're roughly the same age, and your parents are like, oh, he's done this or she's done that, and you're just like, you're not just saying that as a throwaway comment, right? So growing up, I had a cousin who was about a year older than me, and me and him, we were both the eldest sons of the family. So my mum would often kind of be like using that as a yardstick for like my own it sounds horrible. I love my mum, by the way. Shout out mums. But yeah, I wrote this poem basically one time where he was dropping me off home, and we were just talking about normal shit, and then like he parks up, and then suddenly, I don't know what it was, but we started talking about stuff and life, and he said a few things which really changed the way I actually saw him, because oftentimes comparison is a thief of joy, and you start seeing people as competition when really they're just there on their own journeys as well. So this poem is about my cousin. It's called 11 p.m. Parked outside that place I used to rent on the 22nd of March, 2022. My life wasn't mine alone. As much as I prayed and wished it wasn't mine. It was a table with linoleum covers and plenty of mismatched chairs, seating my bejeweled elders first, with the streaks of wisdom in their hair worth their weight in silver. Watching their precise uttering lips, I learned du'as of a different kind. One's blessing the groceries, the school run, the meat and potatoes of daily routine, day after day, meal after meal, prayer after prayer, like sea foam at the coast as it shows up and goes, appearing and disappearing again and again. It was my brothers and sisters across the country and across the stain-proof pockets of my Jessup's photo albums. I feel them chatter, breathing life into my moments in between TV shows, scrunching up homework and avoiding fights at the mosque. Black birds swirling the skies of my many anxious horizons, their names appeared in my head like rolling credits when I lost the plot. Their helium both inflated my lungs with ambition and exploded them into plastic bag confetti. I prayed as if I was the blessed one himself, putting my hands together not for the hereafter but for the here now. Ya Allah, is my life not mine alone? Is my life not mine alone? His answers was the quiet of the Fajr. Thanks, fuckers. For jokes buried under insults, buried under worries, buried under more jokes. Thanks, fuckers, you taught me to hate you for the storms, but love you for the seasons. I would give you my heart if it meant I could still love you with it in while it was in your possession and not needed beating in my overcrowded chest. And my parents, two tall, shady trees with deep hidden roots. The apple did not fall far from the tree because he wasn't allowed to leave the house. Oh, how many times I rested in your shaded boundaries. When I could have enjoyed the naked rays of the sun, I kept where it was cool. And now that I see my peers with their sun-lashed skin, I feel spared, but somehow still wanting to leather my skin too. My life wasn't a coloring book, it was an Arabic workbook already scrawled on by others. Sandals and hangers held like pistols, and saffron rice fluffed with steaming hot duty. As much as I prayed and wished I could taste the Disney films, the porno formed from ignoring chores, you taught me that this tongue wasn't mine alone to sour. And so I kept it leashed and trained, but it's okay because I love them. I love them all and I love you. Like Ibrahim, peace be upon him, did his son. I want to love like he wanted to follow holy command, loving so hard that it drove a knife into rational thought itself, twisting it until I opened my eyes and see that it made sense all along. When he sparked the engine and we drove on that night, where the stars were under the curfew of the clouds, I could feel him click into my mind's socket. He was the pin in the family's notice board after all. He was the pin. Thank you. How are we doing for time? Cool. All right. Yeah, thank you so much. You've been lovely, by the way. Yeah, I love this crowd. Who likes Riz Ahmed? You know that guy on the TV?
He's from around here.
Is he?
I'm not sure. Yeah, Northwest. Yeah, he's around.
Ah. Wait, isn't that Riz Ahmed just... No, I'm joking. Nobody fell for that. All right, let's start the poem. I am a man. Manufactured and multimedia. I'm A*, cash and curry, and Oxford's poster boy assembled from W.H. Smith workbooks. I am exotic, ripe for the picking, packaging, and putting into the fruit bowl of society. I am trendy, long-line kurta, stitched together by brown children over 5,000 miles away, sold to me by the all-seeing algorithm on ASOS's Instagram. Had my parents not left for this country, I may have been one of those sweatshop kids represented only by the Made in Bangladesh label. I am my mum's pacing in front of the stove and my dad's quiet idling in his Prius. My cells are populated with numbers of debt, regrets, and wrinkly dates that may at any moment burst. I am the crowded Tower Hamlets flat that kept my less lucrative passions contained until the juices ran and dried into a law degree, the shape of a neat brown splash, perfect for an otherwise white canvas. I am soon to be a Netflix film starring Riz Ahmed, as apparently he's the only brown British actor ever. He looks nothing like me. Merely a shadow on a cave wall cast from burning a multitude of peoples and melting them into one smooth clay-skinned figure. I look at childhood photos of myself from when I was wheat before harvest, stood in the sun. I try scream at the child to take off on his tricycle, but the words do not leave my mouth. If I'm honest, I am a man. 6 months to promotion, half marathon for Bangladeshi schoolgirls and master's degree, inshallah. My parents raised me to be a model. At least my model is a doctor. At least my model is a lawyer. At least my model is a mortgage. At least my model is a Mercedes C-Class. If I'm honest, I'm not still watching. One day, I dreamt that little boy I saw in my photos talked back to me like he was afraid, riding away on his bike saying, "You're not me, you're not me, you're not me." and I couldn't help but nod. If I'm honest, I'm a man who will never be the juice of an orange, just the bitter peel that keeps the juice inside. Frank Sinatra said, that's life. Muhammad Ali said, don't count the days, and Riz Ahmed will win an Oscar for playing me in a film one day. When I'm old, I will watch it and wonder why they chose him to play me when I couldn't even successfully play myself. Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. I've got, I don't know if I should do this poem here, because I imagine there's loads of West Londoners here. I'm representing East London here. Anyone else from East London? Yes, yeah, my guy. But yeah, no. This last poem I'm going to leave you on is after a grime song by a guy called MIC. And he originally wrote about North London, and I bastardized it and stole it, basically. It's called The Only Perfect Place on Earth. East London is the only perfect place on earth. I've been here since birth, bury me in East End dirt. Cherish these streets from Whitechapel to Bow Church. Stepney Green, Bethnal Green and Shadwell is the turf. Brick Lane, Bungler Town housed immigrants and cockneys. Now all Shoreditch is overrun by them yuppies. Gentrifiers from the shires come in here and Hackney, popping up like acne, pushing us all out swiftly. £8 for a coffee? You're having a bubble. This ain't ends. Hipsters and young professionals are all pretend. Shops having to cater to these high-end bell ends, while locals get short-changed, struggling to meet ends. Insta don't have filters for the problems you're masking. We can't all get pushed out to Dagenham and Barking. But by the way it's going, we won't be lasting. EastEnders are the lifeblood, the ones who start things. And without us, what does this area have left? Soulless chain stores and corporate-sponsored theft. Houses bought by millionaires, empty, they've left. A city-annexed area with no heart in the chest. Just money in the pockets of shiny Savile Row suits. Funny because then they use our slang, another way to loot. Bankers, property developers and councillors all in cahoots. They backstabbed and bled us dry, then blamed the crime on the youths. Tech bros in hoodies that don't get profiled by the feds. Rich white girls in balaclavas because it's the new TikTok trend. Old money Donny saying, this place was a shithole, raising his glass. I'd rather go hungry than swallow the regeneration myth they peddle us. East London is the only perfect place on earth. I've been here since birth, bury me in East End dirt. That is, if it hasn't been turned into a cafe my family can't afford. That is, if it isn't the new Mayfair with houses owned by lords. The earth is only perfect when we honour the East End, where it's all happening and any geezer can be your friend. Any person can be your sibling because we're bonded by the graft. I know money rules this country, but we will have the last laugh. The last laugh will be sweet. You'll pull a face from the taste. Nectar for the working people, the ones who run this place. The ones breaking backs, driving cabs to put rice in the cooker. The ones like my dad who drives an Uber for our futures. East London is the only perfect place on earth. I've been here since birth, bury me in East End dirt. Cherish these streets from Whitechapel to Bow Church. Stepney Green, Bethnal Green and Shadwell is the turf. Thank you.
Early morning touch. Your fingers feather-like caress my bruised cheeks. The day ahead. Shall we just stay in bed? Sun till dusk, blanketed by your love. These Sunday mornings might just be the death of us. I write a lot of love poetry, so I thought this one's a bit longer. I asked you to buy me flowers because they remind me how to love, make sense of what we have chosen to share, to grow in one another's touch. Where impermanence mirrors fleeting love, they age and wither away. I'm not getting any younger. They make you smile, you make me smile. They need taken care of like how some people do. They bloom in your presence, grow in your home or the home in your arms. They die quickly like love can suddenly, so I take this moment as the only one I might get, inhale your lips as if you were my last and only breath. Their early scent is sweet, I douse myself in elderflower balms. But like all flowers I shall wilt. My honey will harden with the mood of our lust. I will smell the same bitterness as the heart of a decaying bud. They're delicate like love, and easy to break like hearts. Their stem is strong and stings when too close. They cut through and remind me love is painful. They need light but can't have without darkness. They need air and space to think and come back more aware. They need attention, like how I need yours, except I'm ashamed to ask for it. You pick away petals like you love me not. They fall to the ground like dreams. I desperately try to hold on to them, but I forgot what I used to like. While bits of me rot on soil, my nectar drips like syrup unsweetened from the sweetness he stole. I lay on a flower bed of salvation that used to make me feel whole. You don't look at me the same. I've lost what it is to be loved by you, to be tended to. I bend to be watered by your love like a single rose in a field of weeds. Treat me like I'm precious, rare. To be tucked behind your ear, whispering sweet nothings, or the buttercup looking up at you in yellow. My shining happiness falls to the ground as you effortlessly save the little girl in me with a single forehead kiss. Our love is like the flowers you never buy and I'll never stop asking for. They remind me how I want to be loved, just a peony for your thoughts. Thank you.
You see, being black in Britain is a monopoly, a commodity of monochrome. I'm not spreading this coloured man's man. Display the truth only in black and white because Black Britain is a game board of pieces you can't piece together. You see, I always feel like we had to take a chance. Black culture is being breathed into the community chest, but we pay the reparation toll for their free parking. There's no get out of jail free card for the black youth and older minds. Prison systems profiting over my skin, trading my skin colour for boxes with bars. The old Kent rode their way to freedom only to be wind rushed back to reality automatically. We look to the heavens. Pastors and preachers praying together for the segregation of religion, black churches. As if we were subconsciously told not to enter their white chapel, but made to digest colonial books of white African Israelites. So you're telling me that 40 days in a desert and you could even get a suntan? Evidence shown that angel is licking tongues of devilish disguise. Houston, we have a problem. Because my skin has made me feel like I'm living in the outskirts of a borrowed land. A land that is systematically vilifying minds against the shades of black. So we develop a chip on our shoulder. Societal minds will tell you to pack it in. But we decide to retreat into our bag as a safe haven of flavour, where you can spill hot chips like cold facts, but they're quick to change the narrative and tell you to stop crying over spilt milk. You see, Black Britain is a race of mispronounced names. Can't catch the spelling, but will sound it out like Pell Mall in their Whitehall tone without even asking for your identity. Rubber stamped as gangsters, thieves, job stealers. But we never stole. Northumberland's into devastation via xenophobic avenues. Check the design. Britain took a bow and they Bow Street dames together to praise slave masters. Branded statues in honour. And even if you don't know, the eyes of history will still stare at you with cold and lifeless looks while you keep still. So, who's the real statue? You see, being black in Britain isn't so Marlborough light. There's a heaviness to the skin tone, a weight that's carried 400 years of pain. We talk about the handcuffs of injustice, but we've been slowly wrapped and shackled. We're growing vines in these streets, stranded in your own self-doubt and self-worth because the pipe dream of Britain spills more sewage as the truth becomes present. Not such a fleeting feeling being black in Britain. The negative aroma of your skin tone is set in stone and whitewashed with racial hatred as the masses become clearer. Even before the days of pigeons in Trafalgar Square, we've had to fight for our basic rights to live. So let me pause for a second. We can track back a few paces. Because even the international monopolies recognize we are bored of games. And even in Britain, we're starting to see light from the underground, connecting lines like Leicester Square, Coventry Street and Piccadilly. Rejecting these region street hustlers that want to prevail white privilege and austerity doses. I guess it's my time to breathe. Because even places like Oxford, circus acts that try to keep us parked in our lane, never to stray off the path, because once we get in tune with our culture, we may fare a chance of living under a commonwealth and a coloured tone of one skin tone. But let me ask you something. Does that mean anything? Even if the queens and kings cross swords, we can find that we have queens and kings in our blood heritage. Ooh, damn. Oh, I forgot. I shouldn't have had that right, nephew. You got it. Right, let me go back. Having queens and kings cross swords with our heritage, to find that we have queens and kings in our heritage. Instead, like the liver, pool our streets to be detoxified, so the blood that we share isn't the same blood red that you can see stained on the flags of Britain. So never tell me not to pass go. I'm collecting my wealth like it's the 27th of June. Electrifying my electrolytes until I discharge my energy like an electric company. I will never suppress my energy. This masculine isn't so toxic. I will develop waterworks to bring monsoon seasons to this jungle, because my compliance should never be viewed as alliance. We don't pay income tax on freedom, because Black Britain is a monopoly, and I will always keep moving until my freedom is owned by my own properties. Thank you.
I'm gonna get a bit deeper into like emotions and everything, because why not? And a background to this piece is years ago I used to like make music, production, and all that stuff, and there came a time where things were kind of going good, but then it didn't go as well. But so then it led to me writing a whole piece about it. So hope you guys like it. Shit, I forgot the first line. I always forget the first line. Alright, how did it start again? How did it start again?
Bro, that was like yesterday. I can't remember.
A couple weeks ago, I sat and met with a label. See, things were looking up, but the downs, what did the damage? Because then they stopped responding, and that's when I start to panic. At the same time, I'm not surprised, because it's life and I understand it besides. I'm really not even that good at this. I'm just a mediocre, no heat making. A kid who wants to dream to escape from the pain of real life. Don't really mean that, but for the moment, that's what it feels like. Mr. Good, but just not good enough. Mister, you can't penetrate the hip-hop culture because you're not hood enough. Mister, keep your day job. Mister, you gon' wind up as one of the ones who tried but just never got it. Just stop it. You gon' disappoint the little bitty fans that you got. You gon' disappoint your mother. You never gon' get discovered. You're not special, you're not different. You're nothing but just another generic rapper that's basically added to what is cluttered. I can say that these are words that came from somebody else. But these are words that come up in conversations, but with myself, but I get over myself. Why? Because I'm full of myself. The hungry part of me wrote this, the hungry part of me spoke this, even a part of me is hopeless, hoping because a part of me knows that it hurts. But it's hard to get noticed, and that's just part of the showbiz. And people tell me keep my head up, it'll be okay. And I just smile because there's nothing left for me to say. Meanwhile, I'm really wishing that they keep away, cause no one truly understands the problems I have deep away. So we're playing checkers, and my mind is thinking chess moves. I'm trying to force time so I can think about my next move. Not only that, I'm also thinking about my next two. I'll also be on sidetracked by this pretty girl I'm next to. If she only knew the weight of all my problems, would she still be staring at me as if she could help me solve them? I swear I'm losing it, I'm caught up in my thoughts. It's like they show you how to get through life, but still I end up lost. And everything I get in life doesn't come without a cost, so my emotions pay for every single lesson we had thought. Trying to keep a smile in the midst of all my pain is like trying to stay dry in the midst of all the rain. I'm hoping I'm the only thing that still remains the same, so my friends don't say I change in the midst of all the fame. But no one knows what tomorrow holds or who's to say. So I'm thinking about tomorrow when I lose track of today. Once I make it through this mess, I'ma be the one that blame, cause I did it on my own with a little help along the way. This one here is like a book, but I didn't put in every page cause I didn't want to talk about things like RA. So I didn't tell you that my family got evicted or that I completely ruined my relationship with my sister. If I could speak to her, I'd tell her that I miss her and say sorry that I didn't even send a gift on Christmas. It's like, I just wonder how I got here and how I'm supposed to fly when my whole world drops here. But just when I thought the storm was over, a close one passed away, another burden's on my shoulder. It's always ones that you don't call as much as you're supposed to, yet you can find time to text people you're not close to. So now I'm feeling all the pain when half the family's only hoping that the family's getting paid. And things are not quite merry when you can't afford Christmas, and people asking me why I'm not smiling in my pictures. If money talks, then I'm trying to sit and listen, but if money says it all, then my pocket just whispers. Cause even with financial aid, I can't afford uni, but a bachelor's can teach you how to get through life's problems. So I'm not even stressing that I can't afford knowledge. It just means I find another stage and learn how to rock it. My dreams walk ahead of me. I think I'm just a shadow, either there or out of reach, or I am just a tax flow. I'm a bad performer, all my life is just a bad show. At least I get this weekly child support from my mom though. How come? Life don't listen when I ask first. And even when I drive slow, I can't avoid the fast curves. I was voted class clown and class nerd. I hope my songs are good enough for fans to hear the last verse. There's pictures in my mind, but I can't really describe them. There's pills that I can take, but the doctor didn't prescribe them. Problems tend to find me, so I'm just trying to hide them. My dreams trying to log out, so I keep my focus signed in. Music is my life, and every bar is a tear. I just hope the bass is loud enough to silence all my fears. I've been through hell and back and only lived 25 years. I got 80 more left, so that explains why I'm here. My life is a movie, but I wish I had 2 takes, so I can go from scratch with a new life and a new name. It's like, I just need to find a new place where cockroaches don't go around me as if they were freaking roommates. I would set up dates with girls that I eventually postponed because I either got no money or I'm running out of clothes. So now she's disappointed or she crying back at home. But little does she know that I've been crying all along. And I should tell the truth because I know she'd understand, but it hurts to say I'm broke, so I pretend that I got plans. But I'm just home hoping I should find a better man that can take her out to dinner and put diamonds on her hand. I'm indoors a lot, so I don't communicate. So when I come out and find out men are trash, like it's still a new debate. Still calling us demons, but what do you expect? When you're the one choosing attention over respect. And guys are one and the same. One song out, he claims he's running the game. Like, bro, I got tickets, let's go see Chance. The same guy who try your girl if you got the chance. Karma's gonna get you, don't worry, or you gonna get what's coming. I don't have no time for, ain't got no time to be extra, to focus on this money. And to be honest, I don't see what's funny. When I'm the one on the track, but you the one who's running. I heard they got a lot to say, but when I'm there, the whole room's quiet. It's like they're assholes to volunteer. In a room of ambition, but hardly no one's here. Like my bro says, things are not always as they appear. If I'm not aware of it, then who you beefing? How you broke, but still you manage to go out every weekend. I see beyond the present. The happy being second, a big forehead's never a bad thing long as it's not a weapon. I've seen too many try and force a connection. Then you get lost in the essence, girl, you walk like a blessing. But can't answer my question asking why we're not together. You can't rush something that's supposed to last forever. That's why my heart's cold like Alaska. They think she's a saint because her daddy a pastor. I mean, I'm a Christian, so no disrespect, but when she tells me she loves me, I just don't believe her. But home is where the heart is. So I put it on Keisha for me being heartless. Now I think smarter. Let her know she's not wifey until their hands through the ring. That's that Vince Carter. Thank you.
So this first poem, I actually can't remember why I wrote this, but it's like so spiteful. So I do a lot of things out of spite, so that's going to be my whole thing. It's called Let Your Joy. Let your joy be snuffed by merit of my lips' open edge. your happiness buried inside the crooks of my elbows, your wisdom impeded by the arch of my widow's peak. I do not hold them there for safekeeping, but against their free nature, for such things make a person weak. Let your sadness rupture on the wind, so that I may catch its billows in the wind. Let your anger betray you in your conscience, and your embitterment sow seeds of bitter sin. I do not hold them there for safekeeping, but melt them on my tongue, so that I may recall the flavors of each failure through many a brighter song. Thank you. I'm gonna call it part 1 and part 2. Basically, background. I realized that I need to move out of my house. It's kind of like a thing that not everyone kind of grows up with family or like with a parent that actually cares about them. So this is sort of about that. And yeah, I wrote these 2 poems on like 2 different occasions when I was just like, wow, I kind of hate it here. But it's called Letters to a Home That Never Was. Dear walls, brick, mortar, and pests, I struggle to conceive myself outside of the role you have for me. This ignored child who is nothing and no one, who leaves no footsteps with dust behind as I drift between the zones of forgiveness and blaspheme. At times I feel your resentment wrap around me like a warm blanket. This idea of imposition, intrusion, an inconvenience at best and a disruption at the very least. Leaving is inevitable, but I dredge the last shreds of memories between my teeth, like I did years ago when I sucked that lemon because it was the only thing we had in the fridge. Love Letters to a Home That Never Was, part 2. I couldn't leave you. At times I felt consumed by the sharp scent of grief and the dull pain of wanting. The stagnating depression that floated like the dust clouds I'd blink away in the mornings. I couldn't understand why it was harder to exit my front door than remain in limbo-fitted sheets that stretched the hours on for eternity. My floor bed sucking me in. I thought I might diffuse through the memory foam, go under. And not once did you ever wonder. I couldn't leave you even when I had the opportunity to. There was some reckoning to be made, and I wanted to befriend this space where all my demons had laid their heads to rest, because the thought of doing it for anyone else made me restless. And I'm tired of feeling reckless, like my body needs some breath. Let's take a break. Let's end this, please.
Anyway, so first poem is called The Ritual, and I'll just go straight into it. Many have tried books, conversations, and rituals, but who has really tasted the sublime essence of the beauty of life? Many have used clever tricks, mind games, and philosophies to carve out a meaning of this complexity that we call life. Many have searched in delusions, looking outwards for a solution, a savior, some sort of hope. What are we running away from? Who is that which actually runs? Where is it that we can go? Has anyone asked this? Or do we just move? Who has really looked inside into what is there in the traffic jam of confusion? That observation brings an everlasting clarity. There we go, poem. When I like to perform, I don't like it to be like, I'm performing here and you guys are here just listening. I mean, like, we're all sort of in it together. I like to think of it like strolling down a garden that we call cute right now. As I extend, amicably, and as friends, sort of walking together in this as, tandem. So this poem, since we're all on the love theme here now, I've never actually done a full-blown love poem before, but this is the closest I've gotten right now. It's called A Love Never Lost. Love can be the most beautiful or the most destructive, filling up this vessel with sweet ecstasy, poisoning it, emptying it, being somewhat corrosive. The heart thumps rhythmically in sweet pain, thinking about, imagining about that love that should inevitably complete us, if not, heal us. The ground loses its sturdy foundation, the house messy, waiting for a cleanup, either from those key words or fixing that key date in the hope that fate or make things right according to the mental blueprint that chokes me ever so tight. When the mind expects, it withers away, becomes boring, never soaring. When the mind fuels its anxieties with hopes and longing, in there it will never find any belonging. That song singing in the trees, in the grass, to the romantic crescent moon, starry night falls on deaf ears to those who are consumed in their lonely fears. When we betray the present, we betray the immensity of love. We betray ourselves. So tells the effects of public opinion, propaganda, or all other forms of pander. From young, we're influenced that love conquers all, but the desires we consume have conquered us all. The outer goal of love that we pursue have made an outsider of nobody else but you. It's true, in the fake imaging of our fantasies, we become slaves that caves us in our dualities. It's a reality. Love ceases to be when I need it, demand for it, rely on it. I let go of the burden I carried for so long. Love itself, love uncovers itself, there is no wrong, just the beauty of song that sings within us, through us into existence, vibrates in all, and can only be expressed in absolute awe. Poems, flowers, and candles, they only take us so far, but when we get out of the glass jar, we give up the center of our insufficiency and enter into love. Love that has no belonging nor end, follows no trend, transcends the marketplace we have placed in our minds. Love that cannot be added or taken away. Love not found on the other side. And when awake, deep, still like the lake, love that is never lost. Love with no transaction cost. Sweet, sublime, and unconditional. A love never lost. Thank you.
Hello. I'm Ruth. This is my first time at Bring Your Own Bars and my first time performing in front of a crowd that is not my family. I've had a great time listening to you all perform. You're all really talented. I've been fangirling in the corner. This first poem is called What I Meant to Say. Sadness strips away my melanin. Or maybe what I meant to say is when I was 7 and I told my sister how lonely and scared I was, she told me to stop acting so white. Sadness invalidates my dark pigmentation, takes all the community and culture that comes with my skin and leaves me with discrimination, struggle, and hate. Or maybe what I meant to say is I cannot seem to exist without my family pointing out my Oyibo tendencies. My tongue has found itself in a Caucasian entanglement. Or maybe what I meant to say was in the wrong language. The rhythm of my mother's tongue makes it clear that I am not from here. Or maybe what I meant to say was articulating myself was never meant to spur a battle with my own identity. Or maybe what I meant to say is, when my history teacher said that Martin Luther King wanted to walk and talk like a white man, I said nothing. Or maybe it was when he called black people loud and jocular and no one in the class knew what to say. Or maybe what I said was too sophisticated. Maybe what I said was too aggressive. Maybe I should be less intimidating, adjust my intensity. Or maybe I should stop speaking altogether. Are you comfortable now? Sorry if we don't have the time.
Sneak one in.
This one is called A Swallowed Tongue. I was taught that the key to solving any issue was first the denial that it was a problem. You are not sick. You are not sad. You are not scared. You cannot simply ignore an issue away. A label hangs in the air like a death sentence. If I do not look at the noose, I am not hanging from it. The words hang in my throat, struggling to actualize. I have always been a creative. I will make stories, imagine worlds to interact with, hold a pen and make a poem, forget to hold my tongue and make a problem. You are not bleeding if you do not see blood. I was taught to fear my tongue, warned of its power, so I held it, bit it, chewed it up and swallowed it, so I did not fall victim to myself. I am unable to wield its power now. They forgot to teach me of the lightness of a chest when you speak up. Forgot to teach me that a swallowed tongue swells. Thank you so much.
It's like a love poem, but it'll change it to me. Because of this. The time when she left me in the summer. She left me when I couldn't find more morals. Every time we talked, it was like going to war with her. I tried to show her love and affection, but I guess the love I gave her wasn't what she needed. She left me when things were starting to get better. Well, I thought it did, but she had other plans. See, the hot girl I wanted to stay with me has now gone to the streets. When I was trying to understand love, at the same time, but loving her within this amazing summer. Summer's now coming to an end. Winter's now knocking on our door and saying this is the end, but beginning something else. Who knows when the next flower will go next for in summer, because she left me in the summer.
Hi everyone, it's the first time I'll be at BYOB.
Come on.
I was actually thinking of what to read tonight, but I was inspired to do something classic. Although I actually wrote this based on the colonialism in Africa, because I'm Nigerian, and it's Black History Month, and yesterday was Independence Day. So I titled this Anarchist Diplomatic, and if you don't mind, I would like if someone can read the video.
I got you.
So it goes like this. At first, the French came with a method to organize the uncivilized. Afterwards, refined their ideas. Their actions jeopardized, brought tears to beautiful eyes. Unexposed kings traded youths for material prize. Shortly, they sold out to the British monarch and happily agreed to the political ideas. So they were paid fines in exchange of youth's life. That's the exchange of slavery and all that stuff, giving humans for mirrors and horses. So this is the slavery. Our dreams may be as high as error in the spaceship, but this politics is killing it. Curiosity made them willingly interested. Youths believed that decisions would bring developments. In the 1800s, the whips never shed, tough and ready to deliver to the youth's fears. Their choices were ignored, a lot never cared, most were scared. Most never spoke, so they died of fear. Time went on and no one still cared. So this is the slavery. Our dreams may be as high as error in the spaceship, but this politics is killing it. 19th century ended and all we had was lords and the name, the Royal Niger Company and Nigeria. The puppeteers who dispatched dictatorship as souvenirs. Talents were taken to the arts, refusing to display could have you buried alive. So this is the slavery. Our dreams may be as high as error in the spaceship, but this politics is killing it. Slowly, the youths began seeking education. They began to work wonders, got involved with crafts, arts, and ideas, exchanged these commodities for shillings, had bigger dreams for pens to lift their spirits. And before they knew, the once feared Badagry slave trade became a marketplace. Supply and demand came into the youth's existence. They felt they were finally getting ahead until the Royal Niger Company announced the currency called British West African pounds. Now they have to accelerate their hustle hard. So this is the slavery. Our dreams may be as high as error in the spaceship, but this politics is killing it. My ancestors suffered this. Your ancestors suffered this. The ancestors before our ancestors suffered this. As a boy, I've heard about the stories of my great-grandfathers and uncles. The tales define their agility, strength from within, enchanting physique with manly skills, youths with the strength of a bull. What could all this deduce? Supposedly we assume soldiers, youths taken into wars to fight their own battles. Fight battles for people they should actually battle to get their freedom titles. So this is the slavery. Our dreams may be as high as error in the spaceship, but politics is killing it. In exchange, after some decades, we're given independence, as if it were a dash and the youths lacked sense. The youths did most of the work and the grumpy agent took credit and the shares. And from that moment, they knew they were finished. We felt if the older ones we looked up to were in control, things would have been better. And then they discovered crude oil. Decisions taken by some led to civil wars. Effiong surrendered to Nigerian forces. Military coups started to sting the scenes. Youth life flew in the air like visitors, forced to work a 9 to 5 in the name of getting involved. So this is the slavery. Our dreams may be as high as arrow in the spaceship, but politics is killing it. Since then, the voice of the youth could only eke up. They became introduced to firing squad, dead by hanging or troubles with the law. As if that wasn't enough, they started to pass political positions inheritance to their sons. We managed to get out of the dictatorship and we became snubbed with democracy. The only diplomatic from these aristocrats, the rig and mismanagement of funds and certain codes of conduct, demoralize our hope. Today, a lot of us want a change, but none of us is willing to change. None of us is willing to take the equal rights upon ourselves. So this is the slavery. Our dreams may be as high as arrow in the spaceship, but the politics is killing it.
So yeah, I'm just going to read this poem. It's called Golden, and it takes words from Gwendolyn Brooks' poem. Golden. Ma tells us, never turn a cheek. Weakness will not be rewarded. The real world is cruel. They made coolies of you, and they'll do it again if we are not careful. When history is left to be written by the rulers, our school is Ma's tongue, Nani's weeping fingers. They will catch us lurking in their boardrooms, the late arrivals who should be making weak tea. They will interrupt, strike us off the table, turn the talk straight back to where they were before we walked in, refusing to be silenced, singing our worth, truthful in the face of sin. They will call us incapable, weak-blooded, all our defenses thin and feeble, before they even let us begin. Ma tells us, do not be disheartened. We are daughters of Kali, bold and gold and as joyful, laughing from January till June, when the first rains sing, and we are close enough to dignity to die, knowing the good ones will be born again. Thank you.
I beg you, please let yourself cry. Please let your heart break into pieces as tiny as your mind can fathom. Please let them ricochet all over and scatter into nooks and crevices. Please let your shoulders tremble and fall. Do not let them stand tall. We are all broken in some way, more than some if I'm honest. Please, I beg you, let your brokenness fall apart. Don't worry about finding the pieces alone. I promise you, we will put all that was together again. And yes, that is what hugs are made for. Thank you.